Okay, guys, welcome back. Itchybruno here. Today we have a very exciting match. I'm not going to spoil much. It was just insane, very intense, very close match. Multiple nukes, multiple WMDs were launched throughout the course of this match, so we had a ton of fun. It's a 2v2, and we're playing on Dorsey Knob. And we're playing as myself and Rustytoad are playing as a European Enforcer Corps, and we're up against LordDarkDan and Macsan as the Spetsnaz Guard Brigade. I've gone the tactical task force, so I've got the command vehicle with the UAV, as well as the artillery secondary, and Rustytoad has gone the assault task force, so a more balanced army. Our strategy really is to just initially take the middle. So let's get into it.
Mission command online.
So Rustytoad's got the rifleman and the transports. I've got the command vehicle and the rifleman. I'm going to send my initial rifleman straight to the nearest uplink at Whiskey. Going to capture that real quick. And we're going to go for the force recon upgrade immediately as well. Rustytoad, he's going to send those transports to the middle, to Alpha, and we think that we're going to beat them there, because Europeans have the superior speed. And I'm actually going to start moving my command vehicle towards Alpha as well, but I'm also sending my UAV to Alpha just to scout to see if they try to head for that uplink too. Alright, so as of now, you can see the UAV scouting. We don't see anything just yet. Rustytoad continuing to move. I'm just keep bouncing to that sit rep. I just want to see and warn Rustytoad if they happen to get there. Bit of a pause here, but looks like Rustytoad spotted them visually there. And they're definitely a little close to Alpha, so he's turning tail immediately. If they would, yeah. They would have deployed before us. They were a little bit closer to the uplink, and they would have beat us if we committed. So we're turning tail, and I'm actually sending my UAV towards the east side of the map. It's more close to Lima, because I didn't want to get shot down by their transports. Now Rustytoad's deploying some tanks. I'm going very artillery focused this game, which I usually do with the command vehicle and the tactical task force. The UAV and artillery work really well hand in hand. Rustytoad's relocating those transports to the west side of the map towards Bravo, so we're going to change the capture to Bravo instead of the middle. They've got too much of a presence in the middle now, and I'll start moving my you can see now that my artillery have started firing on the units at Alpha. And by the way, we are watching this match through Rustytoad's perspective this time. Got the tanks out. We'll start moving those into position, potentially towards the middle. It just depends on how much of an army he has there and what units he has there. I want to kind of get the bombardment on these units with the artillery. I've also deployed some gunships, which I have sent to the middle just to poke and attack a little bit. They are taking some damage though. And Rustytoad, really good move here. They've moved gunships onto his transport, so he gets some shots on them. Breaks their shield, but no units taken down, unfortunately. And he's going for that capture on Bravo. I've upgraded Whiskey to the Force Recon. You'll notice my Unit 8 rifleman has started heading towards Sierra. Did unfortunately take some hits on those gunships. Didn't get them out of the center soon enough. I really wanted to get vision on the center of the map so I could get the bombardment with the artillery. You can see I just lost vision again because those gunships needed to retreat. So we're upgrading Bravo too. And we're going to go for the double Force Recon upgrade.
Check Bravo. Uplink is secure.
I've decided just to start bombarding Alpha, the uplink itself, with that artillery. And Rustytoad's moved his tanks onto my artillery for a bit of defense, in case he does try to rush them with tanks. I do have my drones out as well to defend my artillery from any gunship attack. And we did get some vision there for a second on the transports, but they have moved off now. We are noticing, I'm using my UAV to scout a lot throughout this match. We do notice that they do have some units at Sierra. So I'm slowly moving, but I've actually decided to garrison my Unit 8 riflemen into a building there. As, yeah, they do start the cap with their riflemen at Sierra. Continuing to bombard Alpha with my artillery there. And Rustytoad's moving in unison with his transports and his tanks towards Sierra. We do want to deal with his riflemen there at Sierra. I've started bombarding the uplink itself, but I will change over to his riflemen directly. And Rustytoad is getting some shots off with those tanks onto those riflemen. We have broken their shield. There's a bit of a gully, sort of the river there, so he's not going to be able to cross. If he does go around, he's going to get too close to Alpha, and you know, their units are going to take out his units. So we do need to be careful here, relying more on the artillery. And also, I did start getting some shots off with my Unit 8 rifleman onto his Sierra rifleman. Gunship's heading over to reinforce Sierra, the enemy.
Arm the laser!
Alright, they've pushed us into DEFCON here. So, they do have the majority of the points now. It was interesting them pushing us into DEFCON so early. But we will be able to take this point very easily now. Managed to not take any damage on those Unit 8 riflemen. Rustytoad hitting those riflemen with his tanks. Okay. With that, I will, as soon as those riflemen are dealt with, which is, yeah, now dead, I'm going to move in onto Sierra with my Unit 8 riflemen.
Standing, take over, blast, control, world government, shut down infrastructure.
And now we're able to crash Foxtrot. Because they did push us into DEFCON, we get the crash. And we're going to be able to recap Sierra. Which means we will reverse this defeat timer. We also have the WMD. So it actually worked out really, really well for us that the enemy pushed us into DEFCON so early. Now they can't really push onto my artillery because I've got them defended by drones. Rustytoad has really well positioned transports. I've got gunships, they're almost dead. Rustytoad also has gunships, so we're able to defend the artillery really well and continue to bombard on any units that we manage to spot. Now, we get the capture here on Sierra. We're stoked about that. Rusty's got some riflemen at Bravo, so they can't just run in and capture it. They've got units on the peripheral of Alpha that we are bombarding with our artillery. And adjacent to Sierra, you'll notice my first level 2 Force Recon that is heading towards Lima. And I've got another one that's just come out. So we do want to push these units away from Alpha. It's fairly undefended. Crack the shield of those transports, and Rusty's going to move in with those tanks. And our plan here is we want to get some sort of a simultaneous attack here moving in on Alpha, but also Rusty started relocating those transports towards Lima. So he wants to move those in with the Force Recon to basically get rid of the riflemen there and then move in for the capture, while we pressure Alpha and kind of distract them a little bit on Alpha too. So we're sitting pretty here. We're pretty stoked about how things are going. Starting to close in on Lima with that Force Recon and those transports. Rustytoad's tanks retreating from these gunships. Oh, here comes the Russian airstrike. Oh, on my artillery as well as the tanks I think also got hit. Not ideal. And we are assaulting Lima at least. Okay, yeah. That airstrike did mess up my artillery and Rusty's tanks. But at least this assault on Lima is going quite well. Rustytoad getting out of the transports. That we've broken the shield on those riflemen. And he's going to start capturing Lima. He airstrikes us again on those riflemen. Looks like, yep, they're out. The capture's not going ahead on Lima, unfortunately. Really good use of airstrikes on us. And they are bombarding Bravo as well. Rusty needs to move those riflemen. And yeah, I mean, things were looking really good, but they've turned the table on us using those airstrikes, repelling us at Lima. They've pushed off our army at Alpha, and Bravo is getting annihilated here as well. Those riflemen will get killed shortly. You know, we would have had them back in the defeat timer if our capture on Lima went ahead. It's not all bad news, however. The second force recon is moving in on Lima. Lima is very well defended at the moment. They do crack our Bravo, downgrading our force recon there. We're not too happy about that. And those riflemen are getting annihilated here. Rusty's army's suffering. He's got 2 units. He can deploy a couple more. I've deployed more artillery, and I just want to pick off as many units as I can. And I have deployed riflemen as well, because we do need to start recapping. Now, we do have our WMD. We're very wary that they might try to capture Bravo. Okay, there it is.
Laser. Ignition sequence.
Entering the battle space. High energy laser firing.
Alright, putting an immediate stop to that capture. Launching the laser beam onto Bravo there. We prevent the capture from going through. We prevent the neutralization of that point. Rusty getting some good shots on these gunships as well. And we are doing some heavy damage on them. It's a good engagement there. I just noticed they did airstrike Lima. They're trying to get rid of the force recon defending it. Rusty has deployed some engineers. And I imagine he'll use those transports to move those engineers, possibly to Alpha, or, yeah, most likely Alpha. We do need to start getting captures here. My riflemen, which I initially intended to send to Lima for the capture, they're getting attacked by something. I think it was possibly gunships and maybe an airstrike. We're responding with our own airstrike here, getting it on those artillery.
Allied forces engaged. Central quadrant. Allied unit
Cop that.
Check Alpha. Allied forces moving to secure our flank.
Might have hit 2 units there as well. Rusty moving in aggressively towards Alpha, hopefully able to reinforce it at some point with those engineers. Alright, transports on transports, but I am bombarding with artillery. Launching another little force recon there. Oof. Finished up that artillery as well. Transports are down. Looking good.
Eyes on T-100 Ogre tanks. Check center quadrant.
He did take out my riflemen. So they're really delaying my movement there towards Lima. Even though it's, you know, fairly defended by our force recon, they just can't manage to get there to capture. He's being fairly careless with those gunships. Ooh, down they go.
Hostile neutralized.
Alright, so we still have some remnants of force recon at Lima, so it is defended. We do need to start making some captures though. And we've got a couple of options here. Alpha or Lima. And so I do deploy some more riflemen. My intention to capture Lima. And I'm not sure what's going on there. I thought I was trying to do a deep strike on Alpha, as you can see by that icon, but I don't know what happened there. They end up just landing at my landing zone, I think. Alright, now we are wary that they might try to capture Bravo. And Rusty's putting down some mines, some more assurance. We know that they've got riflemen, because they did deep strike them, and there we can see them on the mini-map, and there they are. So I'm going to start bombarding them with my artillery. Just going to try to stop them from capturing.
Allied forces engaged.
And then we will try to capture Alpha. There's the bombardment and the special ability. see if we can repel this or not.
Это не блеф.
Fuel air missile detonation. Check Sierra.
Oh, there it is. Russian vacuum imploder. And interestingly enough, they launched it at Sierra, which ended up downgrading our air support. Now, I don't think they were aware that I was sending riflemen to Alpha to go in for the capture. But it might have been a really smart move because they knew we had some vision on their riflemen. And if we had that airstrike, we would have definitely used it on their riflemen at Bravo to try to take them out. So it kind of seems like not a smart move. They didn't kill any units, but I think they got vision on that uplink, saw that it had airstrike, and they were like, we need to get rid of that airstrike, otherwise they might repel our capture here. At least we didn't lose units, and at least we'll still be able to move in on Alpha and go for that capture. Lots of bombardment. I'm still trying to bombard his riflemen there at Bravo. And Rusty does spot his tanks, his very low health tanks, moving in there, probably trying to get some shots on my artillery. But he does move in those gunships and begin to take them out. They're not going to be able to do much. I'm just continuing to bombard Bravo there, trying to maybe do some damage on those riflemen. Alright, we do start capturing Alpha. I'm taking some damage there at Alpha. Possibly, yeah, looks like they're hitting me with artillery there. They airstrike my artillery. Our opponent has used a lot of airstrikes throughout this match. A lot of SCP has been spent on our airstrikes. So we're confident that we have sort of the bigger and stronger army here. We do manage to get a lot of damage on those riflemen. You know, that was from those previous secondary attacks with the artillery. And yeah, just trying to move in on them, on those riflemen to finish them with the gunships. Also, moving in on Lima here with the transports and riflemen. We do down the riflemen at Bravo. Happy about that. And I've moved my command vehicle over to Bravo as well. I want to get the radar up with the command vehicle and the UAV. Oh, another airstrike. Bloody hell. Trying to take out the force recon there at Lima. Now they're definitely planning a capture. They've got riflemen hidden in the woods there. So they're just trying to soften up that force recon so they can move those riflemen in on Lima and go for the capture. Also sending in some gunships to attack the tanks. Not ideal.
Check center quadrant. Allied forces are engaged. Check Delta.
Okay.
Allies are moving to secure.
They're also moving into the center there with transports. Getting some shots on those gunships.
Check Bravo.
Rusty sending in, very smartly, sending in the gunships over to Lima because he wants to spot those riflemen. We need to stop them from capturing. There's an assault happening at Alpha as well, it seems, because my riflemen are getting killed. I do have some vision, so I'm bombarding units that I can with the artillery.
Allied forces deploying.
And yeah, he's still got those riflemen in the woods there.
Running low on reserves, Colonel.
A bit worried about that. Alright, and they're moving those riflemen out of cover, which is great for us. Rusty getting some shots with the gunships. And I've deployed my own gunships. I'm sending them over desperately to the riflemen at Lima. Try to also attack. Yep, my gunships are arriving shortly. Can we get enough damage on them before they get into cover? We'll see. Our opponent's playing really well here. Also, my unit, 8 riflemen, took some damage. There must be an assault happening on Alpha as well. They managed to get in cover here at Lima. Not good, and they are decapping. Alright, but luckily, I've got riflemen. Rifleman Unit 12 at Bravo, and we are starting to recapture it. Like I mentioned before, I've got the command vehicle at Bravo. I wanted to get some vision. I can use the UAV, but also the radar on that command vehicle is going to give me additional vision. We're doing everything we can here. I've got gunships. Rusty's got gunships, and he's also deployed force recon on Lima to go for the capture. They airstrike it again, preventing us from recapturing Lima. Really good at airstrike from our opponent there. So much back and forth. We do secure Bravo, and get them back into the defeat timer, thankfully. I mean, at this point in the game, it's been such a long match, and the victory timer for us is 4 minutes. There's just been so much back and forth. So we do defend Lima to a certain degree, at least killing off the rifleman, but they did capture it. We can see here that they're moving some riflemen towards Alpha. I actually relocated my riflemen from Alpha to move on Delta. They do just kill them off with an airstrike there. Now, while they're out of cover, we're moving in with the gunships. Myself and Rustytoad, we need to do some damage on them. Rustytoad deciding very, very smartly to change our support from Force Recon to airstrike. We probably should have done that a while ago. At this point in the game, we just need to kill off the units. But getting into Alpha here, not good. Got a couple of gunships on them. Doing what we can there, responding with their gunships. They're going to try to push out of that defeat timer again with this capture. Rusty sending in the transports towards Alpha to try to take out those gunships and those riflemen. They're doing really well because while our gunships were attacking their riflemen, their 2 gunships were attacking both our gunships, and we're able to take one out there, damaging my ones as well very heavily. We are responding here. There it is, the airstrike on his rifleman. We got the upgrade on the airstrike just in time to prevent them from capturing, but they did get the neutralization. Not great. They did get out of the defeat timer. We are doing some heavy damage to their gunships here at least. Again, very worried about Lima, that they might send some riflemen to Lima. Not sure how many units they have left. Our WMD has reloaded, however. So we do know that if they try to recapture anything, we can just laser them. So we're pretty happy about that. Getting some really good shots on these gunships. I've deployed some tanks as well. Managed to get into Delta with Unit 12 riflemen, and we're going for the capture on Delta as well. They are getting attacked. See what happens. Moving over to the middle here with those tanks. A lot of fighting happening all over the map here. Okay, and they airstrike Delta. I do get the neutralization on it. They managed to airstrike it and again stop us from capturing. That's happened so many times this match. Alright, there are transports on transports here. Okay, we're confident we've got the bigger and stronger army. So, if it becomes a war of attrition, we should be able to beat them out on this. Lots of gunships on the field that our opponent has. Luckily, we do have the counter. Alright, and by neutralizing Delta, we've downgraded their air support. So they won't be able to airstrike us for the time being. Okay, we know they've got artillery as well. We've got a few options here. Rusty still has those engineers at Whiskey. Possibly we should make a move with those. I have more riflemen deployed, which I'm slowly but surely making my way to Lima. So we can get that defeat timer rolling again. Airstrike has reloaded. Okay. Comes the airstrike. Not sure where we even launched that. Looks like we launched it on their artillery. Yeah, we launched it on their artillery. We're sick of it doing damage on our units in the center there. Alright, they will be damaged, they're not dead. It's only a level 1 airstrike. We do have another one though. Time to finish off these gunships. Down they go. They sneak into Bravo. We have a response. and eviscerated. We stopped the capture from going ahead, or even the neutralization at Bravo with our laser. And a lot of combat happening here in the middle. Rustytoad pushing in with his army on those artillery. We've got him routed here, doing some heavy damage.
При угрозе территориальной целостности нашей страны
really good WMD from our opponent. They annihilate 3 of our units there. We do take down the artillery though. Just chaos. Alright, and my riflemen make it to Lima, so I'm going for the capture again. Desperately trying to push them into the defeat timer. They've recaptured Delta, so we're wary once again. They do have airstrikes with that capture at Delta. They airstrike our riflemen yet again, but it's not enough to kill them off. See if the capture goes through here. Yes, and we push them again with that capture at Lima. We push them back into the defeat timer. Alright, they killed off quite a lot of units there. We've got our own airstrikes.
Units entering the battle space. That was our last reserve unit, Colonel.
And we're down to our last reserve as well. They've deployed all their reserves. Rusty figuring, you know what, I'll put down some mines just in case. Maybe a deep strike. I mean, actually, no, they have no reserves. They can't deep strike. Deciding, you know, when in doubt, deploy riflemen.
Eyes on MI-55 locusts.
And of course, they've got riflemen as well. We're wary they might try to recapture. You know, if it does end up being a war of attrition here and they do decap, we will just have to hunt down their units and airstrike them. We'll see what happens. Alright, and yeah, we did get the capture at Lima. Fantastic. Rusty also moving his riflemen maybe towards Bravo here. Yep. Moving them towards Bravo for a bit of defense. I've still got my command vehicle. I've had it the whole game. Again, just leveraging the vision, using that UAV to scout and attack when it can. They've got gunships too. So imagine that they're going to try to fly around and just airstrike us. Yeah, here we go. Here's another airstrike. On the engineers this time. They're in cover. A little bit of damage. Not the end of the world. We're waiting for our airstrike to reload. Alright, minute 30 on the defeat timer. Oh, another airstrike coming through. They've got a lot of CP built up. They're not deploying units. They can't. So they're just spamming the airstrikes here. Oh, they do get the capture started on Bravo. I've got my command vehicle almost parked on top of them there, going to try to attack with my UAV and my command vehicle while Rustytoad moves in with these riflemen. We need to start airstriking. We do get an airstrike on those riflemen. I'm bombarding them with artillery. I would have used my second. Yep, another airstrike. Down they go. Capture is not going through. Victory timer rolling. Right, Rusty getting in the building there. He's sending in his gunships. My command vehicle, pretty happy here. I'm pretty sure that was their last rifleman. They're just airstriking us. What do they hit this time? They hit my command vehicle. Jeez. Down goes the gunships. What other units do they have? What can we find? We're just looking for units now as well. What can we airstrike? Rusty moving those riflemen forward. And 17 seconds on the defeat timer here. It looks like this one's ours. What a grueling match. Oh, they start capturing Lima. I think it's too late. Another airstrike, a stray airstrike. They didn't have vision on us. They were trying to hit something. And that is it. Game over. A very intense match. The craziest match I've ever played. 4 nukes launched. So much back and forth. Our opponents played really, really well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please comment, like, subscribe, and yeah, stick around for the next one. Thanks so much for watching.